Welcome to WeMatter. My name is Alyssa Lee. I'm so grateful to have you here visiting my site. I hope that you meet some new people. I want to thank you in advance for just being here and being willing to grow your mind in order to grow your heart. I believe empathy is best arrived at through education, so that's why I started WeMatter. I'm aware that there are certain places in the world where you may just not encounter a certain group of people, and our environment, along with what we see in the media, I believe really forms our perspectives and our views and ideals on what we believe about a certain group of person or even ourselves. And the media has has a history of portraying races, certain groups of people in a particular light. And the African American community is often portrayed in a negative light or in a thuggish manner. And it's very detrimental to our thinking of how we believe the Black community is. And we are just such a vibrant, beautiful people. And I really want WeMatter to celebrate all the contributions that the African American community have brought to the US and globally, instead of ignoring them. I don't believe that the contributions are readily acknowledged. And so I wanted to acknowledge them in my way. WeMatter is about humanizing the Black community, offering you new perspectives through information to maybe form a new idea based on a group of people. Because often, and I'm guilty of it, often we think or believe we know something about a person and we don't know it at all. And so this is an exercise for me and to become a better person, to become more informed, and to become more empathetic to those around me who differ, and to want to be open to learning about their experiences and how my actions can, make things better for them. And we all have a voice, and some are heard more than others. And so I think it's important that we all speak up and advocate for marginalized communities. So WeMatter, I've structured
the blog under 3 sections: our histories, our stories, our lives.
Under our histories, it's where I strive to cover Black history and discuss some of the unsung heroes of the African American community, because we tend to just hear about the same few: Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and honestly, I don't have a lot of knowledge about the Black community either because of the environment that I was in. So there's our histories, and there's a subsection under our histories called Lies and Truth, and it's where I attempt to dispel societal lies based on history. Then under our stories, it's really exciting for me because it's where I get to interview people, and I love people. If we've met, we've had a great conversation, and I'm so grateful you're here. Under our stories, I interview Black persons and influencers that I admire, and then I draw their portrait. And so the portrait coincides with the mini interview. And lastly, I have the section, Our Lives. And this is a heavy section because it's really paying homage to Black persons that have been slain by cops and vigilantes. And it's me speaking up for them because they're not here to speak for themselves. It's where I use poetry and spoken word to pay tribute to those who have been slain. And some of them are right after shootings, right after killings, and then some of the poetry and spoken word is my reaction to things going on in the news. It's just nice to be able to have that therapy and to just get all of my thoughts and feelings out and to share them with other persons, because you may be having some of the same thoughts and feelings. So those are the 3 sections. If you want to hear even more, you can watch the double interview with Melvin and I under our stories, where I go into more detail about why I started WeMatter, but I'm also going to cover some of that now. So as I was speaking about environment earlier, I'm from Long Beach, California, I'm very excited and proud of that. But I went to school in Huntington Beach, and that's in the OC. So if you know California, if maybe you've seen the show The OC, it's kind of accurate. But it's Huntington Beach, I believe it's primarily white with some Asian and Hispanic, but it was majorly white when I went to school there. I went to a small Christian private school from 7th to 12th grade. I had a hard time, and I didn't really, I didn't remember a lot of it until just 2.5 years ago I saw 13th by Ava DuVernay, and I'm so grateful for her talents. That movie woke me at the age of 29. It felt like I was learning about my people's history for the very first time, and it just broke my heart. And I said, Lord, what can I do right now to help my people? And so it started with the smallest thing of me just smiling at every black person I saw on the street because I wanted to connect with them, because there was a disconnect between me and my race because I didn't love myself and I didn't love my race, and I didn't realize that was because of my environment. Being my friend's first black friend, and we were 14 and 15 years old, they had a lot of ideas about how black people were and how they should act based on what they knew. And so, you know, with the lack of representation in the media telling you this is how this group of people are, and then being surrounded by people who primarily looked like you, who were of the same race and tended to be under upper middle class or an upper class, it was an experience for them that was new. And it was new for me to not be in an environment that had a lot of color, because as long as so much color and it's so beautiful, and our diversity is what makes us unique. And I believe we all are searching for a community. We all long for relationships, and it's hard to have community when you don't have unity. Being in that environment where I was with a person who had certain ideas about how I should act and dress and carry myself because of my skin tone, I didn't realize that I absorbed the negativity that they put on me. And so my mind was conditioned like a house slave, if I'm being honest. And I didn't even realize it because these were my friends. They were my family. So the microaggressions, they were coming in, but I guess I didn't realize it because it was so much time that was my environment. And so we were a very insular group. If you're primarily one race, one economic background, and even religion, I thought that because there was about 500 people that this was the world, but no, it was just my environment that I was in. And that's not the reality. That was just one area. And if we don't get out of the same environment, then we can't really, I don't feel like we can expect to grow in certain ways and to have different perspectives and viewpoints on people of different backgrounds, because we don't know them. And we may not see an accurate portrayal of them in the media. So I hope that WeMatter will introduce you to some new people. It will excite you to get to know persons from different backgrounds. It will even maybe recondition your mind in reflecting on the words and the labels we use to describe persons. It's great that America is really taking note of this, and we're addressing some of those issues, because there's no need for labels or racism. It doesn't matter. We are all the same, and we all matter. So I hope that you will feel emboldened to advocate for persons that are marginalized, and that you will be encouraged to go out and meet people of different backgrounds, and that you will see 13th. My art is, I try to represent lots of different races, because diversity is beautiful and representation is so important, and there's a huge lack of representation of people of color. what I've seen. And so I try to draw many different races, but I also draw African Americans a lot because it's like, you know, you want to see yourself. And I haven't seen myself for a lot, so I like drawing that. And it's an exploration for me too because this is my introduction to the Black community that you hear. I'm so grateful that you came to the site, and I hope we can continue to grow our minds in order to grow our hearts. Thank you.